In this video, I'm going to show two ways to get the least squares regression line equation. The first method is going to use the formula talked about in 2.3. I'm going to show how we type this formula into Excel, and you get two answers back, and that first value it gives back will be the slope, the number that gets multiplied by x, and the second number you get back is going to be the y-intercept, the number at the end. So there's two really important things to remember. The first is that we want two numbers back, so we have to select two cells to start with. So Excel knows where to put those two different numbers. And it's a good idea to mark down the first one is going to be the slope, the number that's multiplied by x, and the second one is going to be the y-intercept, the number at the end of your equation. So when you see those numbers, you can quickly remember which is which if you type those headers in. Now, the second important thing to remember is you have to hit Control, Shift, hold those two down, and then hit Enter at the very end of this. So let me type in the formula that it talks about in the book, line ST, and you see it shows up in Excel. Now you open your parentheses, and you can see it's bolded here that we need to pick the Y values first, the response variable. And so I'm going to do this sepal width here. I'm going to select all of those for this first type of iris here, and it stops right there in row 51, it's the last one of that type. Then you hit comma, and you can see the formula switches and says now we need our x values. So I'm going to select my x values, which is the predictor variable, and I'm using the length here as the predictor variable. And now you close your parentheses. Those are the two things you need to enter. Your y's, comma, and then your x's. Close the parentheses. Now here you have to hold down Control and Shift. Control, Shift, I'm holding them down, and then I hit Enter. And you get those two variables. So the entire formula is y equals, and I'll round here to 3 decimal places, 807x minus 0.623. So that is my least squares regression line formula. And that's one way to get it. That's how the book discusses, the formula the book discusses. Another way to get it is to select your two columns of data here. I'm going to grab both of these. And I'm going to create a scatter plot. So I need to come up to Insert, and you click on the picture of a scatter plot. And it's nice, you can see the little visualization here. It looks like our data is following kind of a linear pattern, sloping upwards. Now right-click on one of these points, the right-click, and let's click Add the Trend Line. And you see all these options show up on the right side of your Excel window. If you scroll down, you can display the equation and the R value. I like to do them both, but the equation is what we're looking for here. Display that on our chart. And I can close out of this. And let's just compare that equation that got displayed. I can make it a little larger, I think. Maybe I can't drag it any bigger. But there's the equation, y equals, it should be that same exact equation we got using the formula and that line equals line ST that was talked about in the book. So those are your two methods. Either use that formula from the book or create the scatter plot, right-click on a point, and when you add the trend line, you can add that equation right there to the chart.